Naked's what I call my way of cooking. What I cook in the restaurant isn't what I cook at home. Cooking's got to be a laugh. It's got to be simple, it's got to be tasty, it's got to be fun. I suppose you could say it's stripping down the recipe to its bare essentials. No way, it's not me, it's the food. I'm going to do some, I'm going to do some preserved lemons. And it's going to be part of a sort of collection of goodies, which I'm going to do for Christmas presents. So I'm just going to wash them.
That sounds a bit folksy for you, really.
A bit what?
Folksy.
Folksy? What do you mean?
Well, are you making your own Christmas present?
What, it's sort of like Women's Institute type? Yeah. Cool. I like that. No, I mean, literally, I mean, I don't think... People always sort of sponge cakes and jams and pickles. They always think of it as a real frumpy old thing, don't they? I don't think so. I think it's quite cool. I'm just slicing it, not all the way sort of down, but just kind of nearly all the way down in a crisscross, just so we can get the salt right stuck in there. And when you salt them, do you know, like, say, Gravlax or something like that, which is cured by salt? Well, it does the same with the lemon. It kind of cooks the skin, making it really soft and tender, and just brilliant to cook with. So you've got them for a whole year. But while you're doing it, you know, it takes you no more time to sort of influence it, sort of flavour-wise. So I've got coriander seeds, fennel seeds, black pepper, a little bit of cinnamon. What I need, get a bowl and a cloth. What I'm going to do is, instead of just putting them in there, which is kind of, when you just put spices in there, it's a bit kind of... So, look, I've got coriander seeds, fennel seeds, just a good handful, whole peppercorns, and just a bit of cinnamon. Put it in like, yeah? Just bang it, just to crack it, yeah? So just like 4 big hits. And pour that in there. I can smell it. We'll just buy 4 whacks. All right, you can hear it, you can hear it. Oh, yeah, I can hear it. Hello? I can smell it. Salt. This is one thing I would suggest, is use sea salt. I'm using Maldon sea salt because it's from Essex, and I'm an Essex boy. Don't use that powdered stuff, because it's a bit chemically and a bit harsh. So sea salt of any description, and sea salt's cheap. We like the seaside. So I've got some thyme and bay. They work so well with lemon as well, just in cooking generally, right? So scrunch all that up, and what you're doing now is you kind of flavour the salt, yeah? So these are extras. You can just do salt if you like, but I'm talking about making it special. I want it to look nice, I want it to taste nice, and it will infuse into the lemon. And all you do, quite simply, is whoop, and whack it in to the lemon, and try and get a bit of like bay leaf in there and a bit of thyme. You want to get the flavours in there, do you know what I mean? So just pinch it and tuck it in there. Oh, we need a jar. Cheap as old chips. And if we sprinkle a bit of salt in the bottom, drop it in.
You don't eat them whole?
Oh God, they'd be revolting. No, you've got to use your head about it. You have to incorporate it in some sort of cooking. But things like rice couscous, sort of in with fish, with sort of herbs and a bit of white wine or something.
And chopped up finely?
Chopped up finely. Yeah, I generally chop it up. And if you use it in cooking, right, as a kind of salty seasoning, then you get all that lovely lemon fragrance, which is pucker.
How long does it take to cure? And when can you start eating those?
Hold on a minute. Oh, no. Right, just shake it about a bit and get it right down there. Curing, well, the thing is that, did you see that? That's me all over, that is. I always do stuff like that. Classically break everything of my friends when I was a kid. Once we've packed it all in there and sealed it, it's going to take about a month for that salt to do its work and just tenderise all the skin. And then it's ready, you know, for you to use for about 2 years. Just fill up all those gaps. So just stuff it in there, poke it down. I think that's about the lot, really. Oh God, I made a mess again. Right, so you've got it all in there. Pack it down. And that's it.
Looks fantastic.
the salt will bring the moisture out of the lemons and it will go about up to there with water. You can just top it up, yeah? And that'll be as happy as Larry. And then you've got 2 years of it. I love feta cheese. It probably sounds a little bit boring, right? Because feta cheese is like quite cheap. It's not really thought of as a very classy cheese, but you can get it everywhere. And all I do, get out the old packets. Oh God, when I used to go to Cyprus as a kid, and we used to have like the feta cheese with the olives and the green salad. Oh yeah, I used to love it. Just get a bit of kitchen paper and just kind of dab off all that excess kind of moisture. I've got some fennel seeds, a little bit of pepper. I need some chilies. I've got 2 chilies. I've got some dried herbs. But I don't know about you, because I use quite a bit of herbs in cooking throughout the week, I always have kind of leftover stuff, and I kind of got into this really bad habit of kind of using half a bunch of something, putting the other half bunch in the fridge, then kind of maybe going out the next night or just not doing something the next night. And you end up with like some nice herbs going a bit kind of, you know, wilted and horrible. So what I started doing was laying it out on a tray, just leave it in the kitchen, put it in the oven, for like in plate warming temperature overnight, put it next to a washing machine or anything that generates a bit of heat, and it just dries in like 24 hours, and it kind of goes really crispy. Listen, do you know what I mean? So you can tell it's really, really dry. But what you got is you got something with a bit more character, you know, something with a bit of shape. You can just put it in a container and it's just sitting there gagging to be used, use it in tomato sauces, anything like that. What I've got is flat leaf parsley, thyme, purple basil, green basil, normal parsley, that's oregano there. Right, I've got some dried chilies and I'm just slicing them up. Chili does work exceptionally well with that kind of milky, cold, salty, cheesy thing. So I've got that, just scatter that about, almost like you're seasoning the board really, and then scatter some fennel, and that's kind of fresh and fragrant. Black pepper, and then get your herbs and scrunch them up. Not so you make it into powder, but just so you break it up and get rid of the stalks. And then all the nice stuff, just pour, sort of sprinkle all over the board. Listen to that, lovely and crunchy. But I mean, by all means use the dried stuff, but if you use fresh herbs at home, and you always have those bits that you chuck out, because I know I do, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, just whack it on a tray and let them, you know, dry out. And then press it. And so you just see the colours, it's fantastic. And that's going to make it absolutely gorgeous, right? But the trick is now, is kind of get it in a jar so it looks really, really nice and stays nice for a good old while. So I've got another one of these jars, and I've got a little bit of oil. And what I do is I just want to sort of, I suppose the trick is really is to sort of try and pack it in there so it's kind of tight. It doesn't matter that you break it up, but just break it up there so it fits in nice and tight. Then you don't have to put too much oil in there to surround it.
You've got an awful lot of jars and things to carry home with you, haven't you?
Yeah. This is the whole idea of my little hamper over here. I've got like my spices, I've got my pestle and malt, I've got my oils, I've got my lemons, I'm going to do my feta in a minute, I've got my chutney, jams, whatever you fancy, just all these lovely little preserves. And it's like a little kit. It's like kind of, I don't know, not beginner's kit, but kind of a year's kit of preserves. I'm in a bit of a rush, to be honest, because I've got to get all this done. I've got to get all the hampers finished and looking nice and Christmassy, and I've got to go and meet Jules at Liverpool Street, so I'm a bit behind and I'll probably get a telling off and we'll miss the train, but there we go. C'est la vie. Right, what I have to do now is top it up with the old oil. Just look at the colours. Now, all that lovely peppery flavour of the oil will sort of permeate through all the herbs and sort of eventually go into the cheese. It's such a quick and handsome looking present. Fantastic. And even better, you can eat it. Do you know what I mean? You can eat it. So, but
how do you eat it?
Well, after about a week, the flavours in there will be absolutely phenomenal, right? You can just break it up, put it in a plate with a whole load of other stuff, like ham, salad and pickles and stuff like that, and it'll look lovely jubbly. But what I like to do, right, and this is a bit of a, well, I don't know if it's a boyish thing to do, but when you put it in the fridge, the oil sets and kind of look just like, so it's kind of stiffish. And I just get a nice sort of baguette, warm baguette, and I use the oil like butter, and it melts as I put it onto the old baguette. Then I break up the cheese with the chilli and all that, bit of salad in there. Very nice. So that's it. I'm going to do this sort of roast chicken dish with these little baby poussin's, which are lovely little free-range things. And we've got one each, so it's quite nice, no carving or anything like that. And I'm going to stuff them with loads of herbs, potatoes and whole garlic cloves. Mum's doing some parsnips over there, which, if you don't mind, just chop them into sort of half and then into sort of each half into 3, so you've got 6 pieces.
Right.
And they're kind of quite wafy, kind of like chippy kind of things. And I've got about 1.5 pound potatoes and about 12 whole cloves of garlic, which have been cooked in there as well, which is quite nice. I'm just going to drain these. Right, I'm letting these steam for a little bit, just to cool down a touch. And because I'm a little bit strange, the winglets here you can leave on, and the little knuckles here you can leave on, but they annoy me. So personally, I lose them because they annoy me.
So do you usually cook when you come home, Jamie?
Do I usually cook? Yeah.
No.
No, I don't. But, no.
No, he doesn't. No, he likes to come home and be looked after.
Mum looks after me. I'm a true mummy's boy. But there you go. I think we all are, aren't we? Us fellas.
This is going to be much easier than a great big turkey, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, turkeys are, I think, probably the hardest bird to cook. Like, that thick breast. And you want the whole thing to be lovely. And then you've got all these poor men and women around England on Christmas Day getting really upset because, like, it's a bit overcooked, it's sort of dry, it's undercooked, you know. It's such a hard bird to cook, you know.
Are you going to have Christmas pudding today?
Too
Yes,
right.
we're having Christmas pudding. I will make the Christmas pudding.
And Mum's speciality.
Oh, trifle.
She does a mean trifle. I do approve of the trifle, very much so. It's really weird because, like, being a chef, you see all these flashy desserts all the time. And the truth is, when you get home at Christmas, all I can think of is trifle. So, yeah, I love it.
He does. He tends to eat it all on Boxing Day. Everybody else is too full up, and he sits there. He's rather uncouth. He puts the dish in front of him and eats it out of the dish.
Mum, don't make me sing.
So we don't mind because it's Christmas.
Yeah, they let me off. I've got loads of really nice herbs that kind of make all this work, really. Sage, rosemary and thyme, which are really tasty, but you can have one of those if you like. So I'm just going to put those in here, just pick the nice bits off. So, Mum, if you chuck your old parsnips in here. So we've got all the herbs.
All of them?
Yeah. Get them in there. Lovely. I've got the potatoes and garlic. Garlic's nice and soft, so that when they roast up with the chicken, it'll be beautifully sweet. We'll put a little bit of salt and pepper. Mum, can you chuck a bit of salt and pepper in there? Just enough olive oil to sort of coat.
How much?
And just enough. A bit of pep. Just toss them over. You can do this. You can do this in a roasting tray and just scrunch it about. But I like to make a bit of a scene and go over the top as always. So we're just going to stuff some potatoes in here, some herbs, some rosemary. You know, a nice bit of the old garlic. I'm not going to put the parsnip in there because parsnips have to roast to sort of benefit from their flavour.
Right. You want me to do that?
Yeah, if you can, and I'll spike them. Ooh. You know, you sort of sometimes see recipes for chickens where they truss it up, and the reason for trussing it up is so it's all like nice and tight, and sort of you can roast it and turn it around. It's all lovely. But otherwise, sometimes the old legs go up like that. It looks like it's trying to break dance and all that sort of thing. So what I suggest you do, and it looks really natural, and it does help in flavour as well, is that the rosemary that I had, a little stick here, I'll cut the end at an angle just with a knife, like a little spear really, and I'm just going to put it through the chicken thigh, through the cavity to hold all the filling in, and then through the other one, and it's dead simple.
And that goes through there without breaking.
See, look. See, and what you're doing is you're puckering it up. You have just puckered up a chicken, and then you've got oil in your hands anyway, so you've got all there. So I'll have kind of lovely, gooey, juicy, sort of tasty, sort of steamy potatoes inside the chicken with all the herbs and stuff. And then around it, I'll have all the sort of crunchy sort of roasted parsnips, and they kind of got all the nice flavoured oil, and we just kind of scatter them amongst it.
So is Christmas fun in your family?
Well, Jamie especially likes it, I must admit.
I'm a bit too into it.
Even when he was a little boy, for weeks before Christmas, he used to make me sit on his bed and tell him the story about Father Christmas. No, and I used to have to say, if you listen very carefully, you can hear Father Christmas in the distance. And he always used to say, I think I can hear him. You know, it was really quite sweet. And I used to tell him that story for years until he was about 16, wasn't it? When you stopped
16,
believing
shut
it.
up. The thing is, right, the thing is, I still believe that it is true.
Well, it's true. We all know it's true, darling.
But,
We all know it's true.
and I think he's a good bloke. Father Christmas.
Definitely.
So I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper.
Right, I'm
Actually,
going to go and lay the table.
Yeah, cheers, Mum. So I'm going to whack these in the old oven at about 225 degrees for about 45 minutes. All I'm doing then is going to casually drape over some streaky smoked bacon.
Do you mind cooking in an Aga?
It's different. I suppose it's what you're used to. I mean, the thing about Argos is they're more than a cooker, you know. They're sort of like the focal point in the house. Everyone sort of gathers around it and has cups of teas and stuff like that. So we like that. But me being a bit of a young boy, I like my power. I like my big 6-burners with sort of like turbocharged, fan assisted, and temperature up and down. I do what I like with it because I suppose I'm a bit of a control freak. But no, I do like Argos. Maybe one day. Right, I'm going to do this blinding dish with Jerusalem artichokes, which like that. I've scrubbed these ones. I didn't peel them because I think it's a bit of a shame sometimes to peel everything because all the goodness is in the skin and all the character's in there as well. And these do look quite kind of funky with the skin on. So I'm just slicing them about a centimetre thick. They're kind of like water chestnuts when you cut into them. They kind of crack a little bit, and but they're quite peppery and garlicky and kind of truffly in a way. But they taste fantastic. So I've got my old thyme. I've just washed the thyme and shaken it off a bit. Got the old garlic. Do you know when you get a garlic clove like that and you just want to break it up? Don't go like picking it off. Just lean on it and it all falls apart. But I only need one, saying that. So, which I'm just going to take the ends off, 2 ends and the little flat end, and you can just quite easily just whip it off like that, which is I find easier. And just finely chop that. So look, 1 chopped garlic in there, and then need some salt and pepper. Good pinch of salt. Lovely. Good bit of pepper. That should be good. And then I've got some of this thyme. Thyme from the garden. Just like a little good handful, really. You could bruise it or rip it up in your hands or just run through it for a second with the old knife. It smells good. Brain work. Cream. Hey, look at this one. Mum's trifle. Ooh. Oops, better not drop it. So I've got cream and I need parmesan. Just put enough, just about, so you can see the cream about kind of halfway up the amount of Jerusalem artichokes. That's fantastic.
Can you cook other vegetables in the same way?
God, yeah, there's loads of things that you can do with it, but I suppose things that lend themselves is, well, all the potatoes you can do like this, celeriac, fennel is another cracker, even celery trimmed down and cooked like this is fantastic, great with fish. It's a really handy thing, you know, it's so easy to learn, yet like one of those things that you just go on using for years and years and years. So right, we've got the thyme, salt, pepper, cream and cheese in here, and literally it's just scrunching it now. Just scrunch it up a little bit, just so like there's a little bit of everything on everything. You could quite happily bake this now as it is and just have a lovely gratin, which is fantastic, easy peasy. But to make it even tastier, I'm going to do this thing with breadcrumbs. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in there because that the salty breadcrumb thing is lovely. And a little bit of pepper, a little bit more of that lovely thyme. Get that in there. Now I don't want it to be like real powder, so I'm just going to pulse it, yeah? Lovely. Generally I try and get, it's only a personal thing, but I try and put more breadcrumbs in the middle where it goes really crispy. And then on the sides, when it cooks, it kind of bubbles up and kind of foams over and goes all golden, and that kind of cooks into breadcrumbs and goes just nice and nice, really. Little bit of olive oil. Easy peasy, and it's great for Christmas, Christmas Day, whatever, because it's just so damn simple. I love it. So I'm going to whack it in the oven for around half an hour until the old Jerusalem artichokes are tender. Give it a little poke to check. So basically in the oven about 225. So that's it, done. Everything's settled. I'm now ready to rock and roll. I've got to go and pick my old man up from the pub. on the scooter, which should be a bit of a giggle. But I'm getting quite excited now because Anna and Paul are coming over, but more importantly, the Nan's coming, mate, and I love my Nan. She's a bit of a tiger, so I'm going to give her a bit of a boogie tonight.